Man, the success that you guys have had this year, again, you talked about it to begin the season. This senior class of yours could do something that no other program, or at least senior class within a program, could say that they did, and that's win 5 championships.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about that is still, it's not something that I can even comprehend. But all I know is that this right here is an unbelievable group of women, and they deserve a big round of applause. This doesn't happen without 2 things. This started 1 year ago when Amber and McKenna sat right in these chairs, a different place, sat in these chairs, and said, we're coming back for our COVID year. That's when I knew that we had a shot at doing something special. This year we get hurricane year, and we have to make a decision because the teams that were supposed to play us could not come in. Chris McFarland, right back here. Chris, raise your hand, sports supervisor. And Terry, we all got together and said, hell, let's just go there and play them. We'll give them 2 home games, but we need the opportunity to win, because if we don't win, we can't be champions. And we needed both of those wins to be champions. And so to Chris and to Terry, thank you so much for giving us that opportunity to even be able to keep up with Houston, to eventually be able to knock them off in the end to create the tie.
Coach, the atmosphere that the venue now possesses, and that was just a sliver of it there, the game against Houston to close out the regular season, but building a home court advantage, it's a real thing, is it not?
You know, and I've watched this build over the last 5-6 years, where we have a pretty good group of about 500 to 600 people that are pretty hardcore. They're there almost every match. And then there's always the transient 300 or 400. I mean, last night just blew me away. We were told by Lexi in marketing early in the day that 900 tickets were already sold, and that hadn't included the walk-ups yet, or the pass lists. And so we knew it was going to be a great crowd, and that was a tough place to play. I usually don't notice the crowds because I'm so in my numbers and in my book and doing my thing, right? And couple of times, some big blocks, some big transition kills. It was almost deafening how loud it was. That has become one of the most intimate, loud, tough to play places in the country.
Yeah, without question. Without question, the home court advantage. All right, so Coach, what are we looking forward to here tonight, or what should we look forward to as this selection show begins, and where teams are going, because things are different. They're new this year, right?
It's going to be a little bit different this year. And I hear everybody talking about where are we going to be shipped to. You know what? I want to be here.
That's right.
We're still in contention to be here. And so I'd love that opportunity for us to get here. We're either going to be 14, 15, 16, or 17. The top 16 will host. And then 17 goes to 16, 15, 14, 18, et cetera, et cetera. So we're hoping to be on the right side of hosting. But if not, we'll be traveling somewhere. We'll be playing somebody who's a good team, first and second round. And, we hope to get out of that pod and then move on into regionals. And this is certainly the group of women that can do this. The hunger is there. Nobody knows how hard they work on their own game. I mean, I know people are down there practicing at 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Practice doesn't start till 2:15 or 2:30. Always up in the office watching video, just working extra on their game. I mean, I've never had a team that is so dedicated to being great than this group of women right here, and I'm really proud of them.
5, 1, 2, 3. I sound like the count from Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so 7:30. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to tune in. We're going to tune in now. We're going to see where the Knights will go, and then we will regroup with Coach to assess and have some final thoughts before NCAA tournament go time.
Sounds great. Thanks to everybody for being here. Go Knights! We were just talking first as a coaching staff and as a team. We love this draw. I think this is a great draw, especially in terms of travel, keeping in our own time zone, and teams that we feel like we're really competitive with. So I don't think we could have asked for a better draw as a 5 seed. than what was presented.
You play Yale. That'll be on Friday, Coach. What's important for your ladies here next couple of days, preparation-wise, before you guys make your way north?
I'll tell you what's amazing is the captains already were talking about get your academics in order, make sure you get the big suitcases because we're going to go for the extra day. They were already going through the checklist. They've been through this before, and again, so proud of them because of something like that. It's really about just making sure we get really detailed on our list and get everything taken care of so we have no worries other than getting there, practicing, and playing.
And everything that has taken place thus far on the season, some of the adversities that you guys have had, you've had those in-season tests, right? The mental tests. And now going here to the NCAA tournament, you feel like you're ready mentally, physically, and as a team here.
Yeah, we've had a lot of those, and we've already played teams that, are a Penn State quality team. So we're ready. We're ready. It's just a matter of physically getting ready, watching film, getting scouting reports together. But we're ready to do this. That's a great draw for us.
All right, Coach. You're going to State College, your old Big Ten stomping grounds right there. How does it feel to kind of head to Big Ten country for the NCAA tournament?
Well, I'll tell you what's nice is not going 4 time zones to play in the NCAA tournament. That added a whole lot of extra challenge last year, and it's nice just to be staying in your time zone. They're playing a great opponent like Yale first, who is a perennial champion. They know how to win. We're going to set, as we have all year long, we set our sights on the first team, the next team on the schedule, and we try to go 1-0. So State College is a great place to play volleyball. It's one of the more historic facilities in the country. A lot of winning has taken place there, and so I think it's going to be a great experience for us to be in that kind of atmosphere. But right now, it's all about Yale. It's all about getting ready for Yale, all about preparing to win.
About the bracket reveal, just waiting, and you're doing the math in your head.
Yeah, I'm doing the math in my head, knowing that there was a slim chance we would be a number 4, very high chance that we would be a number 5. So we would play a 4. Now, which 4 is that going to be? Was it going to be Creighton? Was it going to be Rice? Was it going to be Baylor? Marquette? We didn't know who the 4s were going to be. One of them got revealed as a 5. So that means somebody who wasn't in the mix that we thought stole a 4 bid, and it turned out to be Penn State. They were RPI'd at 19, and but they got one of the 14, 15, 16, 13, 14, 15, 16 spots. So, but that's a great program with a lot of great tradition, and looking forward to going to State College. That's all I can say.
You've talked a lot about Amber and McKenna's leadership being important, especially mentoring younger players throughout the season. As they've gone through tournaments before, how important is that at this stage of the season, them continuing to be those mentors and leaders?
Yeah, this is it. This is their chance to leave a legacy now. How do they get their teammates prepared for this challenge that lies ahead? From academics to travel to day-to-day itineraries, how do they lead this program? And they've already done a fantastic job for several years in a row. No reason to believe it's not going to happen again this year.
One thing I noticed when doing a quick cursory research of Yale and Penn State is that they're 2 of the top defensive teams in the country in certain aspects. And Yale, one of the lowest opponent hitting percentages, Penn State, highest in blocks. So even though Penn State, of course, is still a potentiality, with how defensive this bracket seems to be, how are you kind of thinking about approaching defensive play teams like that?
We're not going to worry too much about what the numbers were, because in the NCAA tournament, the numbers don't matter. The best offensive team all of a sudden comes out and hits 050. It's just the way it is in the tournament. So right now, we're just going to go out, and you've heard me say it all year long about just being the best team that we can be on that day, and hope that that's good enough. So we're going to go out there and we're going to use the defense that has helped us get here, and our offense, top 5 in the country, and we're going to go out there and try to use as much of it as we can. I think Yale is a tremendous defensive team. We're going to have to find ways to score against them, and we're going to have to find ways to keep them from scoring. So, all in all, I think it's a good draw. I think it's who's going to win. Is it going to be offense or is it going to be defense? So
You don't have to go west, but you have previous NCAA tournament experience. How does that now help you in this NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think every year you play in this thing, the more you understand the nuance of it, you understand what questions to ask, you understand what answers you need to look for. I think there's so many little details that after you're in it for several years, you know to ask even before they come up. So, all that experience certainly will help us.
Some of the differences, made this year to how NCAA seeded things. How do you think that played a part in this draw?
No, I think it worked out real well. Now, I haven't done a deep dive into the 32, but I think that's progress for our sport. I think that's progress for women's sports. They've moved to seeding 64 in women's basketball. This is kind of a test run for us in soccer and other sports, seeding 32. And hopefully we'll see a day, where they're seeding all 64, and it's really, 1 versus 64 and 17 versus 16 and all the way through. And hopefully we're getting to that day. But I think it's a big step for the movement of sports in general, but especially female sports.
What is the difference in this team? Because you guys have been in the NCAA tournament now for all 5 of these years. What do you think is the difference between that first team of McKenna and Amber were on and going to the NCAA tournament versus the team that we see now going to the NCAA tournament 5 years later?
I think that first year was a situation where ignorance is bliss. They went into that year, they didn't know what it was, so they just went and played. They had the advantage of playing in Puerto Rico, playing against the Puerto Rican national team several matches and having success. So they believed in themselves from early on. Now, each year they've gone on and they've had to, the toughest thing to do is defend, right? Defend your reputation, defend yourself. And so they've had to go out now for 4 more years on top of that and defend, what they've already done. They had to validate it, it seems like. And they've went out and they've done that with great success. And, I think it's a team that's hungry. It's a team that wants to advance. And so we're going to take them, like I said, coach speak, we're going to take them one at a time. And we're going to do our best to advance as far and as long as they'll let us go.
How has it helped the brand of UCF Volleyball?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think the success of, going to 6 tournaments out of 10 years in the American, and the success of this team, only losing 1 match this year, plus heading into the Big 12 next year, there's a lot of buzz about the program and the direction we're going, the trajectory that we're taking. We've already seen it in recruiting. We've already seen it in national notoriety, but I think it's only going to take it a whole nother level being back in the tournament again.
How did Friday's match just really set things? I mean, that's a NCAA tournament match. You couldn't ask for a better way to go.
That was a Sweet 16 tournament. That was a Sweet 16 match, and it challenged us at every end, making decisions, deciding offense, defensive timeouts. Should we take one now or should we wait? I mean, it was a tournament match, and it put us through a tournament dress rehearsal. So that is big heading into the NCAA tournament. That's what I said when we were in the locker room and we were done. We needed that match. We needed an NCAA feeling match before we went into the NCAA tournament.
And you sense from your players that they recognize that
no doubt.
as well.
Yeah. Nope, that's how they were. They were already in that mode. They were already in that. No matter what it takes, we're winning. We may lose some things, but we are winning this match.
To have a deep run in this tournament, what do you want to see your team do? You say you want them to play UCF Volleyball. What do you want to see now?
I want to see hunger. I want to see cohesiveness. I want to see perseverance. I want to see all the things that have made us great. You take those attributes and you put them in the tournament, that's a team that becomes dangerous. Those can be Cinderella teams. And we still haven't played our best match yet. That match is still out there. And, I think during whatever stretch we get, it's a good time for it to come out.
I think that it's without, intro that McKenna has made a large impact on this program. This is her last NCAA tournament alongside Amber. How cognizant would you and this team want to be with that going into this NCAA tournament, knowing it's their last chance?
I don't think you look at, we're going to go out there and we're going to win it for this player or that player, the fifth-year seniors or anything. When you start taking your eyes off of what you're doing and who you're playing against, I think it really blows things up. So as much as we do want to send all of the seniors out with a memorable season, it's not going to be about any one of them. It's really about all 16 of them.
How important are those players, though, to being mentors and the way your other players are learning and seeing what they do on the court and in practice?
You're looking at Claudia stepping up and being a leader. You're looking at Heidi stepping up and being a big game competitor. You're looking at both defensive specialists, liberos, playing better and just learning how to relax in the back row and play defense and see what you see. Plus the people on the bench that didn't get in this year but are going to be starters in the future. How do they act in these situations? So it's a feeling where those players are learning from the graduates, learning what the UCF way is and how we compete in these situations.
You excited?
I can't wait. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I've been looking for the email that's going to give us some more detail and more outline, but I can't wait. I'm ready to go. I think the team's ready to go, and we can't wait to get into practice tomorrow and get ready for this.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Congrats.